Hello there. This is Coach Ruth Haruna, another episode of our parenting tips. I'm so excited to share the tip for the day with you. So, how are you doing? How are you doing? How is your family? How are your children? I hope you are growing in your parenting journey. I say growing because no one really starts the parenting journey just knowing everything to do 100%. So we are all growing. Our journeys are similar like that. The phases you're in your parenting journey and the phase that I'm in with my children may not be the same. However, the challenges and the highs and the lows are quite similar. Um, so that is why I can say to you with confidence that this parenting journey is a journey of growth. So I just hope that the videos you're watching and the tools and materials you're getting access to build a very confident parenting journey for you is helping you. So welcome once again to this channel. I'm so excited about how parents are really growing interest in watching videos and watching um, reels, and some even attending trainings and reading books and materials about parenting just to improve your skills. So I just want to put it out there to know for you to know that I know how busy life is, and I know how busy caring and catering for children's needs could be, especially when your children are in that phase where they are either infants or toddlers or in the early school age or the middle school age and even teenage, whatever phase your children are in. It can be stressful when you add on work and every other thing that comes with life. So I just want to say, in case no one has told you recently, well done. Well done. I feel like we need to do more of that. Appreciate ourselves, parents. So great job. Now, let's go straight into the business of the day. What is the business of the day? I have been telling you all that follow me on this channel to look forward to this series. I'm going to be sharing with you tips on how to manage the use of devices, which include the TV sets, tablets, phones, if your children are in that phase where they use them, and the use of gaming sets and online and internet access, including and especially the social media platforms that are so rampant and the list keeps growing. Yeah, so that is what I'm going to be sharing with you. But I've broken the information in 5 bits. So you will need to watch this episode, which is the first part, and then look for the series, part 2 to 5, to get the complete information. Because, like I said, I know how busy we are. So I want to always drop uh, the information and tips in bites so that you can chew them, think on them, absorb them, assimilate, and then come up with a plan on how you're going to utilize the information you have received. Because if you receive information that is very helpful, but you are unable to utilize it to take you from point A to B in your parenting journey, then there is no use really for, this series. But I do hope that it will benefit you in the ways that these tips have helped me. All right. If you don't know, I'm a mother of 2 girls and 3 foster sons, and raising children is something that I have been doing for almost 2 decades now, and it has been an interesting journey. A lot of the things I share with you all on this channel are things that I have gleaned from my personal experience. Yes, I am a trained and certified parenting triple P, which is positive parenting programs, training, and of course internationally. However, and also I've implemented projects in triple P, which is positive parenting programs. I did that for about 5 years in Nigeria before I left the country. However, I have utilized the few things I learned in that pathway of my career, and I have also learned new things. So when I share some of these tips with you, you might find some of them as facts that are online, that are, scientific evidence-based researches and tools and methods of raising children. But at other times the tips I share with you are from my personal experience, things that have worked for me. So what I would recommend for you is pick the core of the principle and find a way of contextualizing it to your situation. Because my children have moved in certain phases, when I'm giving the tips, it might be something that does not really apply to your child as a toddler. So you might want to ask yourself, how can I utilize this for my child that is 3 or 4 years old? However, I will do my best to make it user friendly for all phases of childhood, the big things. Okay. So this first video is kind of like laying down the foundation. And yeah, the thing is, we cannot run away from the fact that our children will use devices, and we cannot keep avoiding the use of the television set forever. We can delay it, but eventually our children, even if it's not within our spaces in school, sometimes a lot of schools are using TV sets and videos and laptops and tablets and all the devices that have come with the advancement of technology to teach children the educational curriculum, right? So, is it something we can completely 100% run away from? No, it is not. That is why the best thing to do, which I recommend for every parent, is find ways of using what has come to stay. Stop running away from it. I mean, I encourage you, stay away from the use of devices for your children for as long as possible. But when it becomes impossible to avoid it, and it's obvious that they will become exposed to these devices, to the internet, to online content, then you will need to begin to have conversations on how these things will be used. So basically, that is what we'll be talking about in the subsequent videos. So your children can watch cartoons, they can watch videos on YouTube, they can, well, depending on the age range, they can play games either on the phones, tablets, or the laptop and the gaming devices that are really, really going crazy these days. And really, I would say there is nothing wrong with it if you are able to put a measure of control. Everything done in moderation will always be my principle. And that is what I would recommend for you. Everything done in moderation. Also, as a parent, you need to be the one setting the tone for how things are done in your family. You need to be responsible and proactive in creating the environment, the vibe, as Gen Z would say, and the tone of how things flow. So it is not different when it comes to the use of devices, the internet, and accessing online content. It's actually the same. You have to get on the matter. Stop running away from it. Stop outsourcing it. Stop pretending like someone is going to show up from somewhere and put measures in place for you. Okay, parents? We need to wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up. Take the reins in your hands. Be in charge. Be the one that is setting the pace in your action. How do you use your phone? How do you use your devices? How long do you stay on your laptop? Do you get breaks when necessary? Do you wake up and the first thing you do is go into those things? So you have to look at yourself. Setting the tone starts from how you are living out your life, right? Yes, starts from how you are living out your life. I always say to parents, your children will become what they have seen you live out more than they would become what they heard you say. What you do, who you are, the principles you imbibe and you live out for them to see becomes easier for them to become the version of what they have seen than just you living out something else, saying something else. So you want balance, you need to be balanced. I'm challenging your parents. I'm challenging you. You can be balanced. There was a time that I observed that I did my morning devotions. If you're watching and you're a Christian, you know what I mean when I say devotions. Basically, it means reading the Bible and praying. And I noticed that I was doing it with my phone. And when I was doing that in the morning, my kids would have no idea what I was doing with my phone. For all they knew, I would have been scrolling through Instagram. How do your kids know that you're reading your Bible? How do your kids know that you are doing a religious activity? How do your kids know that you are doing a market list? Because we're always on our phones. So what I decided to do, which you must not do, by the way, I'm just telling you what I did, was I decided to start using my physical Bible for my prayer time. So that first thing in the morning when my kids open my door, they don't find me holding my phone unless when it's necessary. They find me holding my Bible, reading from it. Sometimes we want to read books on the laptop, we want to read ebooks, and we use our phones a lot. I moved to buying physical copies of books. So that is what it means to set the tone. The final thing I'll say in setting the tone is you need to create rules. You need to communicate the expectations for your children to know what you expect from them. My rule would be do not hand a device to a child without clearly stating the rules of engagement. So your kids have phones, your kids have tablets. Do they understand the rules? Do they understand the number of hours or minutes they're expected or allowed to use those things? Do they understand the invincible boundaries of where they start and where they stop? What to watch and what not to watch that aligns with your family principles? If not, you need to have a family meeting, create those rules, and have deeper conversations. In the next episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the details of all the things that comes with operationalizing best practices around the use of devices, the internet, and online. So thank you very much for watching. This has been fun. I am always excited to share what I know, what I have experienced that has helped me with you. Once again, you're welcome to Rose Haruna's channel. See you soon. Bye.